open up a lot of the map. You know, some of the eastern teams kind of struggle a bit more, but it's better than, you know, the southern plains, the very rough plains for everybody except, you know, the Milta guys or the military guys. But here, most of the teams, they're able to get anywhere they want to. Navi's going to drop early. They're going to take the cars, making sure that they keep them. Maybe even take a boat or two, making sure that they can get to Primos from there. Moonwolf, though, they might send one guy to Novo just to have one guy loot down there and then get all the good loot from Novo. We'll see here. Look at this. I like the intro here. The lights everywhere. You see beautiful. People. It's beautiful. Beautiful stage. Beautiful venue we've got here. Lots of place for guys to hang out as well. And here, no really...
M19, just to note, nowhere near this time. They're not even going near Yaz. They've gone to North George, which is a huge problem for Sangl. And Sangl hasn't been getting kills on the board today. They sit bottom, in fact, of the bracket, if you want to call it that. So that could be a huge, unwelcoming worry for them at North George.
I mean, North George is kind of shareable also because Sangl do have two guys in Sarki, so they could just go on the western side of North George. You can kind of share it if you want to. But right now, it looks like Sangl, they're dropping right on top of each other, and we might see some early kills here.
FaZe just getting the cars now, by the way. They're going to push all the way out.
They actually pushed them out. They have one guy in the garage onto the right side there, but he might just take a car and, you know, go bail, yeah.
As you say, there's lots of room in North George. He could bail and actually just go to the opposite end of the town at the very least. But yeah, he's certainly not going, oh, the circle though is going away from that. So Zarki is about the last place you want to be. A little bit more land in there this time, but still quite a bit of water as it crosses the river. Now, this is something I was going to point out. No one's gone out to Milta Power as of yet. FaZe just getting in their cars now will certainly take that opportunity to get there, given that it's still inside of the zone. But Nova's been, sorry, not Nova, the team, Novo, the positioning has been relatively ignored. There's some decent loot there.
There's actually lots of loot. I like, honestly, Novo, it's a hard place to get out of, especially in this lobby. We have, or in this group here, we have Penta, we have Moonwolf, we have so many teams congested, and we've actually seen Penta gatekeep people coming out of the military. They gatekeep broke at PGI Leicester, so Penta can actually gatekeep people, and they want, I mean, 10 points per kill, you want to set up a trap that's guaranteeing you another placement going off the table and getting 4 kills. If they know there's people in Novo, for sure they're going to be setting more traps up. And also Moonwolf is there as well. But O'Connell, he's actually not going to take Novo. He's going to go back to Milta because the zone is close to them. It's most likely going to shift north, of course. But we'll see what they're going to do here. They're most likely going to go outside Milta. Because, as we said earlier, you don't want to stay in a city unless you know that it ends there, because you can nearly always crash a city. FaZe, though, good position. This is nearly what I like to call a FaZe circle. If you get these circles where you kind of guarantee they end around the lumber mill or the Milta Power, then they most likely have a very good game.
Remember that, just to talk about the change as well from M19 versus Liquid against Yaz, we never really saw the direct engagement from them, but we did see that M19 actually were the first team. They went out in 16th in the last map that we had in the last game, Game 5. Part of that was being caught in transition by Dignitas early on. Obviously, Example tried his most sneaky of tactics to stay inside of the car. But that alone, that transition, that rotation that they were caught off in, the fact that they couldn't get a good engagement early on, that might be enough that dissuaded them all together. They said, right, let's go somewhere else. There's room up there. They would have had a scout in the room that wasn't playing, a coach, an analyst, whatever, that would have spotted that and said, hey, guys, there's lots of room elsewhere if you're uncomfortable trying to move out of that. Unfortunately, the one round they go there, they're away from the circle. But it's just interesting to note who's going to get uncomfortable first. You could also argue perhaps the same thing with Knights, right? I mean, they went over to challenge SetToDestroyX early on at Lipovka with this 4-man spread that they like to do from shelter all the way through prison. They have not gone back with the 1-man toward Lipovka knowing, okay, hang on, there's a whole team that wants that. Yeah. We've got one guy. That's not worth it. So we are seeing subtle adjustments by teams that have been on the unfortunate side of early exchanges.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Knights, I'd say in a good plane, Knights usually, I would say they actually have the best drop. If you have one guy shelter all by themselves, one guy prison, and he has all by himself, and Lipovka and Mansion, if you have 4 guys that spread, you can have so much base, and you're going to have all the loot you need. There's maybe only military and maybe South Church that's going to be as good or better. I mean, the amount of loot you get alone in shelter, like insane. Prison, insane. Mansion, insane. Lipovka. I mean, one guy Lipovka, you're going to be looted out of your mind.
Prison, I will stipulate and say, yes, fantastic loot. I hate going there just because of how easy it is to get locked in.
Right, yeah.
To anyone that goes down over the hill can easily push up. It's a very known strategy. You can even go to the 4 block that's just slightly to the right of it, to the north east, and it scares me for that reason, but you're right. A ton available there. Early game. Yeah. Certainly wouldn't want to get caught there late.
No. I mean, they like to drop there as well because they will see if they get contested and they'll just dip out. You have some car spawns around in the open in the north. MK14 here. I don't think that GMT have spotted it. He is in the lumber mill at the moment, just east of it. And look at this, Andy though. Andy known for liking crates. He loves his crates.
Moth to a flame.
He's exactly. He's gonna spot this. He might just go for it.
Just to note as well, as Gemty is the only one close by FaZe, but the biggest transition, once again, comes from Ghost early.
Yeah.
This time it wasn't McCoy alone. He took a teammate with him, and Bullock's going to come in now in the second car, along with the second, or I should say fourth, I guess in that case, player.
Yeah.
So they are the first to transition. They leave Pachinki early. They went with, I think, on the desk, they said, I think Toffee said, 2 houses for McCoy before they moved last time to get back in the circle. This time it was a little bit more than that, but they're still being very quick about their loot and their positioning. We also saw from Knights, not the best of the loot. I didn't catch who it was. I think it might have been Voxic. No helmet, no armor, running it through a field. I mean, that's a lot of these teams are really just jostling for position rather than relying on getting stacked up. How is...
What's happened here?
Where did he get shot down from? I didn't even see where that engagement came in from. Mossy's down on 2 as well. TG getting challenged early
look
on.
at that, a bike. Oh, they flipped the bike.
Okay,
Both
I was going to say...
Oh, no. Well, I mean, it looks like they're going to survive it, though. They're just in the middle, east of school here. Nobody else is kind of close to them, but damn, that flipping a bite and 2 guys dying, though. Ghost, though, look like they're already fighting Lions in the middle here. Liquid also on the move. Yeah, they are fighting here. They're shooting a bit, poking at each other. No, they're going to be taking a very good... I love this position. You have kind of everywhere you can rotate off of, except the directly east, because you have the compounds due to that. Mossy's still not. He's probably going to be picked up again. Or be picked up. Just in general, Drayden here, as you said, these guys did not loot where they usually did. Oh, on a total 200. Just going to take that on the way and then casually just stroll on.
Yeah,
no
this is who it was. This was Drayden, exactly. Sorry, it wasn't Voxic. It was Drayden that I saw. And no vest, no helmet. He just got the tier 2 helmet there, as you saw. So, yeah, this is the point. When you do that spread loot system, getting toward the shelter, there's lots of loot to them, but they actually started to move a little bit early on this, and they didn't really get stacked up very much. Krama's going to get a lot closer to them. He'll be picked up by the buggy, and they'll start to leapfrog. Meanwhile, Vitality across the bridge. We know they've gone toward mill base. They've had it every single time, so they're going to have plenty of loot. But you already pointed it out, with Penta in the server, with Moonwolf in the server, with FaZe over toward Milta Power, there's just so many teams that want, basically, the footing of that bridge. And this means they're heading straight into it with cars, making a lot of noise, and we could very well see an engagement off of this. With that circle almost looks like we could be too advanced from now with how many people are in that single area of the map.
Yeah, I mean... all of these teams in the middle here, they can easily be in the third circle. I mean, the third circle is about 1,600 meters wide, and they're so congested already because there's so many small compounds that are kind of spread out. Lions here, they have one of them. You have Ghost west of them here. Vitality coming slowly over. They want to take the gas station and move from there. Again, this zone can still shift south. It can 100% still shift south. And if it does that, that's going to be huge. I'd like to see it, actually. That'd be lovely. Just because, you know, I want to throw the hardest circle of these competitive teams and see how they adapt to it.
Adapt is the keyword, right? It's problem solving in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Which is fun to see, the decisions that are made. Speaking of decisions, Na'Vi coming out from Primorsk. They're going to be running down the bottom side of the river, and alongside them is Wildcard. They'll have spotted each other. They're all in cars on the same similar road. In fact, I think Wildcard, they've gone past them. Exactly what you said last game. As soon as you pass by that first engagement, you can stop and take the fight, which is exactly what we're seeing now is Kickstart. He's gotten out of his car. He's trying to fire immediately onto Shady, but it's not really going to do much at this point in time, aside from alert everyone else around that's where they are.
I mean, it's an okay position to be in the western side, but you want to go as deep as you can. I mean, in this zone here, it's so hard to get into the later stages of the game because holding compounds, there's so many. There's the farm area. There's all of Milta. It's just so congested in the middle already. We have 10 teams around the middle inside one small square, one by one. Smithy, though, on the move here. Is he going to hit one? Yeah, he's going to take down Mossy. That's TeamGates down to just one player now. Super unfortunate for them. No, 2 players, sorry. Mortifies and Silo, they're still alive.
They've had a horrible start to this, have they not? I mean, the bike flip, and now you're down to 2 players early. That said, we're also going to have FaZe losing a player. Knights are going to get the kill, Voxic. So there you go. That early start, they transitioned early. They now know where FaZe is coming out of. They're going to swing in behind them and try and segregate them, which is exactly what they've done. Mixie's done, gone already. No, not even a defense in sight for him.
Super unfortunate for them. Krama here also coming in slowly. They have a good position, but look at all these teams. I gotta point it out again. It's insane how close they are already. But it's because of the amount of compounds that are close to Milta. Gustav Around Lipovka. He spotted Ronaldo. He's going to take a spray at him. Oh, he's going to get him down to half HP, and now he's going to make a move. No!
Oh, that's so scary. That's always the problem. Fignaldo just barely sees through the window, tags Gustav back. In fact, has the advantage in this as he tries, thankfully, to get the heal off his teammate. Adam will save him, but Adam's got Eve over the shoulder because Gustav still gets found by Snakers. It's SetToDestroyX that are actually going to win the exchange. Gustav's dropped entirely by the Car 98. I think he could have done better on those initial shots.
Yeah, that's kind of a little whiff there. He did hit a few bullets. Let's see a Rift, though. He's going to take some shots at Bookie. Oh, not connecting one, though. Uber taking down Pride. Finishing off. Shade did knock that one.
Snaker still from range. Car 98 trying to hold off Fignaldo's position. He is dropped inside of the doorway, and Dignitas continue to push. They want to trade this back and make right what was wrong in the early exchange. And Snakers is so far away, there's not really much he's going to be able to do, surely, to hold off his teammate other than a few chance headshots if they try and push the doorway of.
Look at Fignaldo. He's actually trying to crawl towards him. He's just trying. There's a smoke behind him. He's just trying to crawl towards him.
He was spotted.
Not sure they know where he is, though. Oh, he's so low. He's just trying to, and even more smokes are coming up.
The problem is, if they clue in as to where he's gone, yeah, exactly this. Yeah. SetToDestroyX can't get there. Snakers is still coming out from the right side. They spot the teammate instead that's down the hill, so a chance Survivor's going to be pushed out of it, but a chance Fignaldo gets there. It's going to be desperate that he does it. Bookie drop by Rift certainly increases the chances that they get toward the boost, but nonetheless, it's an AWM. Okay, fair enough. Sick. Yannick's going to be super happy with that.
I think he's going to be looted out of his mind. The next one is going to pop. Oh, look at that. Straight onto Vitality. Fantastic positioning from them now. It is going to end on the north side, though, with this shift, or most likely.
Our leaders, Dignitas, down to just 2 players remaining. Already after that exchange. They've certainly done damage against SetToDestroy. I say that, and I take it back. They actually haven't gotten the kill yet. They did get the revive off. I don't know how he crawled out of that hut.
That's absolutely insane. More smokes coming out. I'm not sure if they just smoked towards him to just create a wall, but that was a fantastic play. Making sure that he survived that. As I said, I did not expect like Knights, though. Far rotation on the east. FaZe is going to come in. They're going to be breaching the southeastern end of Milta. Let's see how far they can get on this. They're going to ditch their cars after this. I want to get as close to the center as possible. But you got to remember, it's going to go away from water. Not in the next circle, but the one after that.
TG's got a problem. They're in between 2 in cars, desperate to get the center of the circle. Penta's preoccupied with ghost firing at them, but TeamGates is going right through everyone and somehow are not dead yet. Are taking damage. They'll leave Mortify, so they're going to split. Okay, he's got a bike. Take it back. I thought he was actually just going to jump out of the buggy and leave himself there, but they've split up a little bit. Jazz is trying to spot them next. They want the house on the low side toward the bridge. It'll certainly allow them to control their peaks, and with so many teams around, it's going to buy them some time, but they're still in a very tight position. Vitality, you said it, they have excellent position toward the low side of the circle, and so far uncontested with 4 players alive. We also know they've got an AWM to work with in Yannick's hands.
Zangle actually breached Yannick and took him down. That means they're going to get an AWM and some broken level 3 gear. That's very good for them. Jazz, though, he holds down the compound next to Yannick. Kind of a greedy 1-1-2 split. I don't like it this late stage of the game because there's so much water in the circle, so there's so few compounds to do it. I'd like to see a 2-2 split instead of that. Those 1-1 splits can, if you get breached, which you often do in these kind of type circles, because of the amount of water that's in this circle, we're kind of already area-wise that is available to play on. We're kind of already on the 3rd circle, and I don't like it that you go in a 1-1-2 split.
Huge problem. Well, I shouldn't say problem, but a huge aspect to the circles today.
Yeah, it's been insane to our Erangel games. I like the as you said, it's problem solving. The best teams are the teams that are best at problem solving here.
A knock behind the rock. Lions, meanwhile, in the open, have FaZe moving in. Knights are on the move, driving across the bridge. FaZe will be the one to confront them first, and in fact, already have, it seems, as shots go out toward the car. Meanwhile, Moonwolf get 1 player removed, and that'll drop them down lower onto 3. So we're slowly whittling away at the team. 16 teams still in it, but whittling away the players on each, I should say. M19 as well, only with 2 left, have had another horrible transition from the far side of the map this time at South George. SetToDestroyX, they've had not great success today, if I'm completely honest. They've had a rough day. It seems like every time they want to engage, it starts well. They get a knock, but they can't finish anyone off, and then suddenly they're out of the fight. They're going to drive right by Dignitas this time. Dignitas only with 2 players left. Need to be careful on this. Adam's fired early. SetToDestroyX isn't going to stop. They're actually going to swing even wider toward the blue. They don't want to fight. That shows, to me, I know it's your buzzword, but a lack of confidence.
They're not comfortable at the moment, as you like to say. I mean,
exactly.
Comfortable, confidence, motivation.
Oh, Fignaldo, what are you doing? He just lost half his health rolling down the hill.
He needs some driving lessons from Frost, that is for sure. Look at this. Oh, these rotations, though. They're going to be just inside. They're going to be going... Survivor's going straight towards Adam.
This is a fight.
And Civil. Oh, look at this. He didn't connect. Survivor's surviving. It's his name state right there.
And Civil's desperate to try and pull that back in his direction. The problem is they're pitching towards Survivor. It's Dignitas that's going to have all of SetToDestroyX heading that direction. M19's aware of it, but they're in the blue, and that zone's about to shift. They don't have a lot of time to really engage on this battle. Meanwhile, everyone that's got position and fortified inside of some sort of building is not peeking. So despite that many teams are at the bottom...
Oh,
okay, fair enough.
Wow.
The bottom side of the bridge. This is going to go... I don't think there's going to be much exchanges here, aside from people trying to gatekeep those rotating in, because everyone in the circle right now has so much position.
And look at this, the most open and big compound is still available for the taking. And as we know, 4th circle, next circle is going to go away from water. So the circle is literally going to center on that compound. Everybody thinking that's going to be in there. If somebody's like opening, just checking, stopping a scout a little bit, they can breach it easily and just take it over for free.
SetToDestroyX have left Survivor to try and do that on his own, as he and Adam Uncivil from Dignitas, those two, will do battle. They wanted to try and get in. They're stuck on the beach. And Wildcard has a fantastic position in the compound just to the south. They can fire toward them, pinch them in. They've got a water tower and a wall. That's about all that's keeping them alive at this point in time. Navi as well is well aware of the fact that they're in that position. They still have to transition in themselves. So you are right, that compound's wide open, but it's almost a game of who goes first. It's a game of chicken, because anyone that wants to transfer has to worry about Moonwolf covering it off from the east side. TG's also got into one house that we saw on the south of it, and Vitality has good position. Sangle's even snuck in at this point in time with 2 players left alive, and it really does come down to information and who can attain that. That's pretty sexy. We get another AWM and a silencer to go along with it.
Oh, it doesn't fit on the
excuse me, you're right.
Yeah,
DMR and AR, my mistake. That's not an SR.
Yeah, it would be
still sexy. Silencers
if it wasn't
are great.
SR, that would be insane great.
That gun
and those are
silences
dealing the bottom as well. Yeah, absolutely insane. Oh, Drainy taking down Adam, and Uncivil's going to be finished off. So that is Dignitas, our current leaders. We've seen it again and again. If you're leading, you're going to be hunted, kind of. I mean, or unfortunate.
Yeah, so the RNG gods go against you.
Yeah, exactly.
You've had one. Now I'll take it back from you.
Yeah, exactly. Super unfortunate for them. That fight that they took in the Puffcast has really punished them off hard. Navi here, not inside the zone. They gotta make a decision. Do they want to gatekeep or do they want to take position here? Okamoto is slowly moving in on the side here. We see on the map. He's just inside the zone. The other guys, they have spotted Example, who's going to be running with his back to the blue, taking damage from that as well.
Konstantinovic wants that compound.
Yeah, oh yeah. Ooh.
At least it suggested to me that he wanted it. He slowed down and stopped up for now. Meanwhile, WC, to my still inside of Kitchen, wants to try and peek out.
Yeah. Oh, he's taking the small shack. There's a small shack to the west. That's what he's taking. Kickstart, though, as you said. Some shots here. Inside the zone. Pretty good compound.
This is one of my favorite compounds. Unfortunately, right now, this circle doesn't do it as much justice as it's normally worth. But if you ever have a south military-based circle and you're worried about bridge camping, if you can get there early, boat access, beach all the other boats, everyone comes there looking for a boat. It's such a good compound to hold.
Like
it needs a name.
It needs a name. We need to make it. You need to move some houses closer and make it a small city.
Exactly.
We should call it what? Sato City.
Okay, you said it. I'll take it. I'm sure we can come up with a much better name than that.
You don't like your name?
Just don't think that I deserve a city named after me yet.
Okay.
If that ever happens, I'll call Dad right away and let him know, hey, Dad, I've made it. Please accept me now as your son. I'm kidding. Dad's supportive. Vitality's got a bit of a split situation. Jazza, as you said, Yannick, from CS, here I am. Yannick went down early, lost that AWM. Jazza's split from his team. Has decent position, but you're right. They're doing okay considering the situation that they have. That's a lot of cars.
They have 44 cars with them. Probably half the cars available on the server at the moment. I only have 5.
Let's make an H-bomb. Put them together and blow them all up at once.
I mean, they need the cover. If it ends around the open, the field, which is, as we said here, it's going to go as far as away from water as possible. We do have spread in the setting as well. That's why it's going to go slightly off the angle. That's not like, it's not gluing to the first circle here. But look at this, BSAP, Liquid, they're pushing onto Lions.
Pushing indeed. Lions with Azrael already down. They're expecting that there's going to be a res on top of that. There isn't as of yet. It's going to be a Penta spotting inside of the house, knowing that he's not moving, proning against the wall, trying to get the shots inside of the window onto Voxic. He can't quite do it as of yet. In fact, somehow he's gotten position in the corner to get away from it. Vector, 4 gems, who doesn't have a helmet, keep in mind, to beat that's going to get the kill. Helmet's still up for him to grab afterwards, but they're not done yet. They still have to worry about the house next door. Meanwhile, Nova, they were waiting for Sengol to work back in. They found the kills onto it. M19, simple again, it is going to be on his own, walking in, and gifted the freedom of doing so. But Nova's got Na'Vi now to worry about. And from one engagement to another, no time to reset, no time to get on it. Na'Vi wants to take that as their chance for initiation. Uba's got the opening. Oh, car kill onto his teammate. That's going to slow down the approach. They wanted to capitalize on the fact that everyone previously in this engagement was already softened up, ripe for the taking, and they've done themselves in, and nades are being thrown. We would say NA nades.
He flashed himself. Retsuik, he tried to cook the stun grenade. It's a 2-second pop.
Yeah.
He waited 2 seconds. Very
He's trying to level it
unfortunate.
out. Listen, I know you knocked your own teammate. You res him. In fact, I won't even look at you.
Oh, Purdy, double knock onto Pokemolido and Uba.
That was the res. That's the 2 from the core. So he read that. He knew exactly where they were playing. They couldn't engage. They get held up. That's actually a huge misplay now from Na'Vi, because one player jumping out early is going to leave them down. Loss is going to peak, and it's Shady gone next. Na'Vi, a team so experienced, and they're absolutely getting demolished. Don't be misled. There it is. There's the update. Down to 1 player remaining from 4 when they tried to poach the fight and be the 3rd man in. It all goes horribly wrong. And who to pick up? The Lion. Again.
Who's going to be picked up here? Chris is inside. Rezo's not going to push for that because they've got multiple guys in there. Samson, they just want to push this. They have the outside push as well. They have the back, as you said, to a wall right here. They know he's in the back. Nice push from that. Nice peek from James. That's going to be Lions out on 14th. As you said, Wrangle, not their map in the first day here. They got to pick it up for tomorrow, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, that's unfortunate considering the lead they had after we finished our first 3 maps on Miramar. No helmet still for James, excuse me. I don't think he even picked one up off that second body because I think it was knocked off in the battle. So I called that there was actually one available. A beat that knocked the player at the doorway, forgive me for not remembering who it was, didn't actually elect to try and go passively to get the kill, and actually I think took the helmet off him, so his teammate still without one. There's the replay of the nade. That's huge. They were locked in behind the car.
They were stuck, actually.
I think they were completely stuck, and again, that goes because of the jumping out of Na'Vi. So yeah, Na'Vi kind of did themselves in there. Still have Drainy in the fight, but he has to be extremely passive at this point, and Nova, finally on for a good one, are still sitting pretty just beside him. Meanwhile, Ghost Gaming, north side of the circle, no one really around. Penta's nearby, but won't engage. Liquid also have the entire northeast of the circle. It's still a south side bias, and it's very weighted. This is basically, that's a pie. That's a pie chart, what we're looking at with that road cutting through the middle.
Completely. 30% chance of it going southwest, much less east. So you want to put your cart somewhere, you want to put it north. But again, the 5th circle doesn't have any land ratio, but it's going to go north. It's going to nearly coat all the water. And look at FaZe. They're extremely happy. But they've got Andy just under them, and I'm not sure if they know. So there might be a fight happening between Andy and Hexetti. Look at that. Hexetti's going to go down to half HP, though. And he's going to jump out. Maybe GMT has got him. Oh, saw him.
That was a slow reaction considering I would have thought that all the information was there sooner. He goes for the push. I thought he was going to get caught off. GMT gets away with it. They'll push back through, and Andy is found. Damage was there in the end, but it looked like that was an awkward exchange at first glance. So FaZe have perfect positioning. Meanwhile, Wildcard swinging in. TG, we know, has been very passive. That middle compound becomes a powerful position at this point. Shots out in the middle of the field.
Sharpshot actually pushed Konstantinik. Well, in the small shack he pushed on earlier. So now M19's down to example only. He's left on foot on the western side of the circle. Modify though. It's going to pop out a nade. A sweet underhand throw. It's not going to connect. It's not far enough on Wildcard though.
I think they've got a small pitch because he can't quite see them down over top of it. Meanwhile, Goodyear's going to try and fire away for Penta, who have to transition and want to hold off Ghost in doing so from the farm. So Wildcard, not with a lot of cover, gets to the shack in the middle. Penta still jostling in the north, and the transition from the south. Knights are actually doing very well and can play the ridgeline at the beach. FaZe is really the only one that can get any vision toward them, and that requires FuzzFace actually leaving that compound or getting to the 3rd floor, but at the very least.
Yeah, I think he's staying there to make sure that nobody comes in from the south, because they saw and heard Knights coming in the cars earlier when they rotated in that position. Profi goes 0 kills. Very hot position here. They got to run in the open. Now Turtle is going to be taken down by the zone. He's going to deny those kills. Oh, he's going to try to at least, maybe. Oh, yeah, outside the play zone. He died to the zone. Nobody got the kill. This is open space. They're just trying to defend here. Interrogate is actually lying between as well, so he could potentially gatekeep a bit of Penta. We'll see when that happens. Profi, though, a little knock here. Oh, no.
That's a massive... Yeah, he's just barely going to get that in.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to run immediately. That was as close as you like, and he can run all he likes, but he can't get away from bullets. They run a little bit quicker. So he gets taken down by Kaint, the new player on Penta, who's adding totals in. Interrogate is sitting inside the smoke, trying to be clever, but Chronix says, hey, listen, if you're going to sit there, you probably should have disabled your car, because that'll just blow up everything in the radius. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and Chronix gets a kill as well. Now, it leaves him with little cover. But keep in mind, they don't have any immediate threats. Bigger problem right now is Drainy. He's gotten the last remaining Navi player. He's gotten in the middle of the field. He's behind a hay bale, but doesn't have a lot to work with in that position. So he's already using utility just to stay live, and there's not really much hope for him. Fortunately, what there is hope for is other teams going out early, similar to what Fuzz did in the last game, if you want to go that far with it. And Novo will bow out despite having an aggressive, I think they were up towards 6 kills.
I think they're pretty much towards up there. I hope for Liquid that they save their cars, because this one is going to go away from them. If it ends on the fields, they need the cover from there.
They got knocked.
Penta, though, they got to knock down. They got to knock on Scoom.
Brack's all over Scoom. So he goes down early. They'll easily get the res. Penta's going to take that immediate invitation to rotate away from Liquid, having an initiation, sure, but it's confidence enough to say, right, enough of that, we're out. SetToDestroyX, meanwhile,
just next to Vitality, chilling.
And having a decent game this game as well, being very patient and passive. Chilling indeed, but it's not really the warmest and friendliest place to chill, because Circle's about to start moving and they're going to have to engage. Nade's going in. Snacker's the one to try and force them out early. No helmet on him. Tier 2 armor swings wide. The team's immediately getting one in return. Meanwhile, it is Snackers to close out on Monkey. No chance for them. Vitality down to just 2 players remaining. Gates on 1 meanwhile, as they lost further on the other side of the map. No! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that's a huge blunder. Survivor's taken down his whole team. He took out Snackers, he knocked himself, and just like that, SetToDestroyX finally on for a good game in their first LAN, and absolute embarrassment and catastrophe.
And Survivor's a sub as well. Oh no, that's so unfortunate. I mean, it was close to going in, but damn, that was so unfortunate. Liquid, we talked about it. They needed the cost. They're gonna go for a run for it, but FaZe,
gone.
They're still on the side of them. They're going to be taken down everywhere. Look at this Liquid.
He can poach this. O'Connell, Moonwolf just waits at your right. FaZe spotted them out, but it's O'Connell that gets the kills onto them. It slows them down tremendously. Thankfully, they went for a 2-2 split on the driving. James can still work his way in, but Abitha's far, far ahead of him. And FaZe is going to transition. I think FaZe spotted Abitha. Jempty's moving in aggressively. He wants to go, in fact, directly toward Moonwolf. I thought he might try and swing onto Abitha. He's on his own. They jump out of the car, and immediately Voxix try to do damage, but it's Jempty dead inside of the door. For his sake, thankfully, gets inside of it just barely, because it gives Fuzz a chance. Remember, there's a tier 3 helmet on him. That's valuable in its own right. FaZe aren't committed to trying to get the revive immediately, because they know they've gotten in a new area, of which, therefore, they don't have the information as to everything that's going on around them, and they can't overcommit to the situation. So they'll play this on time. Jempty, he's almost letting him bait off of FuzzFace, almost letting him bait off of his teammate, because he wants O'Connell to try and push in.
And Xeddie's going to be running in the open here, taking shots from Knights. We can see this from this nice fly overview, if you may. Xeddie, oh, he's got a little hay bale to work with. We'll see if he can survive this. But he's very close to Ibiza, who has to push here in the smoke. Good positioning, but look at the amount of players in the south here. Penta on the west, Wildcard on the west. Vitality has made it just because Survivor, he didn't want to live anymore. He didn't survive.
Yeah, that was insane.
He didn't survive.
I mean, keep in mind that he did survive. When you remember how isolated he was against Dignitas earlier. He does all that work to get back in and get to his team, and then that's clip worthy. That's one that'll haunt you forever.
Yeah, that's another one. That's a twit longer tomorrow.
Yeah, poor guy. Proofread it. Make sure you're happy with that one.
Oh, they know. Voxic knows. Shadow. Oh, he's going to be taken down. That's Vitality out in 8th. Texas is going to take him down with the kill. Wildcard in a pretty good position here, but the zone shifts away, and it favors Hexeti and Ibiza.
Hexeti's still in this.
Now Knights, though, look at this. Knights on the move. They want to clear. They saw Hexeti. They took shots on him earlier. They want to clear him.
And there's no support this time. Unlike Jempty last time where he was in the open. By the way, it's been res. That happened inside of the house, so Connell couldn't do anything of that. Unlike his position last time where he was solo and had Fuzzface in the tower to spot over him, Hexeti is completely on his own this time. There is no vision. His teammates are preoccupied, and they're working in. Nades go, yeah, you're right. They know exactly where he is. Look at the nades. Not going to go far enough, but they've got the knock. I take it back. It's Penta that actually spotted him out from far. All the way over on the other side of the circle. They're able to collect on him. Brax with the kill, hacks down, and now it's a whole different game for FaZe because they no longer have two dogs in the fight, and they no longer have position on that western side of the circle. Ibiza's gone undetected in this. He could pull similar to what Fuzzface did last game.
Could indeed. He's got a good position. Penta has a terrible position. They have to run in the open, but they have a few haybolts to work with. They might be able to run in, but now Wildcard. Knights, everybody's pushing in. Fuzzface is taking shots of O'Connell. He's taken down. Moonwolf is taken down to one player, so it's only Edicus. He is, though, in the safest house inside the current zone. He's in the house with the blue... Exactly.
Udyr's firing completely over Ibiza toward Drayden. They're going to look at each other. If somehow Ibiza can go undetected, now remember there's a car beside him. That might be enough to make someone inquisitive and start to consider it. But if somehow they overlook him, he is in an absolutely brilliant position. Udyr taking damage, hits the deck, but it's kickstart from Wildcard, trying to bring them back into an amazing position. They've got 8 kills in total with 3 players still up. Knight's still with 4, but they're caught out in the middle of the field, and I say 4 alive. There's one that's knocked currently. Thankfully for their sake, no one going to be close enough. That nade. Oh, the bounce changed everything. I didn't think that was going to get as close as it did.
It's a good nade. Hopefully it wasn't cooked. If it was, and it could have been coming a little further, though. Penta, look at this. Kane is going to be taken down very low here. All of their players are so low at this moment. And nearly inside the zone.
Just barely inside the zone. I was going to say, I didn't think he was.
He's got 1 bandage left and no boost. Oh, he's going to be taken down by Jempty. He's going to finish him off as well, I think. 6 kills, though, on the Penta guys. 4 here on Knights. Now the next circle's going to go straight on to Ibiza.
Oh, this is huge for him. Again, he's not even found yet. Udyr's been busy watching Knights. They're overlooking it. Now the question is, I'm not sure that Knights won't spot him. Even if they rotate, they get on top of him. It's a question of whether or not and how patient he is and whether or not he engages. Meanwhile, Wildcard, Tumai, still trying to flush Moonwolf. Ito's inside of that house and will not move at all. Any damage he can do at this point, massively beneficial, and it's sort of who moves first moves last, because they're going to be down immediately.
And we got to remember here, in this next circle, it's going to go straight in the middle. So this 9th circle is going to go straight in the middle with the small asterisk. And that's very close to Ibiza, so he might be able to get a top 2, even a win here.
That's
Texas,
huge.
though.
No, that's massive for him, because now Udyr, the only other player that was pushing that side, is gone. Knights get the kill. They're in a prime position with 4 players left alive, and they are slowly working in to Ibiza, but they're going to get caught off. Crossfire position. Wildcard's going to do Ibiza a massive, massive world of good, because Texas down. They're now forced to be caught in transition, and the knock is massive. Ibiza doesn't need to do anything at this point in time, but he is going to be pushed. He is getting company. He is getting very, very, very close in the middle of the field. In fact, an aid to go to the car. I said that. Someone had to check the car on an off chance. But the question is, do they check the push? Ibiza can't overcommit to peeking because any movement's going to cost them out. They're going to try and get the res onto Texas. Meanwhile, FaZe still with Jempty want to swing back through, and Brax is still holding out from Penta, just slightly high and wide of them. Moonwolf opening a door, get a kill. Somehow Wildcard can't respond to, and he's not only going to take down FaZe, but Edward Kuz is going to actually take out Sharpshot as well. Now, Brax sneaks in late. There's 2 snakes in the grass.
Brexco here, 4 teams alive, 9 players, all standing here of Knights. They're gonna third party this, so they're gonna nade this. Oh, this nade could be huge. Look at this, it's close. It's gonna be maybe a bit too long though. It is indeed. 2 guys knocked. Kickstar's gonna come out, it's gonna be taken down. 2 mites, last guy alive, and Texas is gonna be taking down 2 players. There are 4 guys alive with 2 snakes. No, they actually found Ibiza as well, so now Brexco is the last player. Look at that.
That's huge from Knights. What a win from them. They qualified first out of the European Division online. They've been a little bit slow all day, but all 4 staying alive. And you're right, finding Ibiza was the key. The second they found him, they opened up the entire top of the circle. Everyone else was fighting around the compound with no way out. And Knights pick up the final victory on day 1. Kill total, I didn't see it, but I get the feeling it's going to be at least around 10.
Yeah, looks like it was actually completely 10. 5 kills on Texas, 3 on Drayden. 2, nice guess right there. 2 on Kramer. But actually, Edukos, as you said, Moonwolf, What a third party. He's third party Gemty. And I think they ran out of smokes. Utilities would have been huge here. And if they had a smoke or two more, they could have smoked off the whole compound there, making sure they could just push in. But then Brexco coming in. Super unfortunate for FaZe.
Yeah, I was surprised FaZe got caught out on that one because they were waiting so long, and Ediko did a super good job in that house. The fact that he got out of that in any situation to get kills at all, let alone not just a kill on the immediate problem to his right, but also onto FaZe, changed everything in that circle. Because if FaZe doesn't get caught out by him, if he gets shut down immediately by Wildcard, who are holding that door, literally just holding every angle in that house,
they knew
FaZe can get in, FaZe can then engage on Penta sooner, and then you get a straight brawl between them, I think, and Knights. But Knights just had the whole circle to work with.
Super open space for them. They pushed in. They had a few knocks on them. They made sure that they could smoke off, get everybody up, and then push perfectly, clearing out Ibiza. But Liquid, I mean, they snuck into top 3 again.
Yeah, yes, that is worth noticing because Samty did it earlier for them. This time it wasn't quite as dramatic with the kills, but you're right. It was the long game. If they're getting the points, and on day one, I'll borrow a line from Duncan Thorn Shields, who everyone knows in the Counter-Strike world and beyond. It's not really a group stage per se because it's a very different format, obviously, with every team in the server. But day one is kind of like a minefield, which is what we'd say is a group stage in CS. You just got to get through it and survive. Yeah. So that by literally surviving and getting deeper in these runs, it's going to give them points that are going to weigh out massively down the line.
You know, surviving day one, also surviving the land years. As you said, multiple teams here first time, and multiple teams second time then as well. Land years. This is possibly one of the strongest lands with this format from the strongest regions in the world currently as well. I mean, CIS, one of the strongest regions, Europe, North America. All these teams extremely strong. And I mean, Lions coming in here, that good, but not being able to clutch it in the ranked, super unfortunate. But land hitters day one, not happening for them.
But keep an eye on that too, though, because we're going to see, we don't see Miramar as much. We're going to see new trends develop, especially where today we didn't have very challenging, challenging in that there's a lot of open space on that map, but not very challenging circles in terms of differentiating.
Yeah. Oh.
From each individual game, whereas Erangel we saw much differently on each individual game and each individual circle. That could change things. And if Lions prove to be a really good Miramar team, that might be enough to keep them hanging around until all of a sudden, hey, one goes their way in Erangel and it kind of tips the scales a bit. So there is value in being a good Miramar team in this event.
For sure. I mean, it's 9 games. If you get 4 or 5 very good games on Miramar, you'll still be. I mean, you're not just fighting for the top of the leaderboard. You're also fighting for a lot of money. We've got 100K on the line right here, right?
And there's $500 for every chicken dinner today.
Oh, for sure.
Which not only are they getting taken out for dinner, but they're getting money on top of it. That sounds like a night out in Sweden at its finest. And Dave is standing by.
Sounds good.
We're live. All right, so winner, chicken dinner, the final game of day number 1. Give us a breakdown on all the games today from the Knights.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 Miramar games we played, it was probably the worst games we've ever had. You know, we got like, I think 10th, 11th, and 15th, and it was just going absolutely terrible. Our morale was really low, and we weren't feeling it. So it feels really good to come back in these last 3 games, get some decent placements, I think 2nd, 10th, and 1st now. So glad we caught back up a bit.
Where do you think you are now on the leaderboards? I mean, we'll find out. But
yeah, I think we were like 11th last game, so probably around top 7, I'd say.
All right. And let's see. How are you going to continue this momentum over the night into tomorrow? Like, are you going to be able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely really important that we ended on a chicken dinner. I think it'll definitely carry over into tomorrow's games, but we're definitely going to go over our VODs and just see what we did wrong the other games, because those were not great. Yeah.
I see you staring at my mustache. Out of all the teams here, though, which team in particular kind of gave you that hard time today?
The Lions, they were definitely contesting us a bit on Miramar, and I think SetToDestroyX as well was kind of going into our territory in Lipovka, killed rate on earlier games. So both those teams kind of have to look out a bit for. Yeah.
So going into VOD review tonight and with the Lions on Miramar, do you guys already have a plan to kind of counter that?
Yeah, I mean, the Miramar games we already went over kind of and figured out what we had to do differently. So I'm pretty confident going into tomorrow.
All right, I've been asking everybody all day if it's bad luck or good luck to touch the trophy.
I'd say it's bad luck, yeah.
No one wants to touch it. Why is that? Do you have an explanation?
I don't have a reason. Nope, just bad luck.
All right. You want to do the winner's victory walkway? Any shout-outs, though, to your fans?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out VZ. Thank you, VZ, for being my #1 supporter. Means a lot, and everybody watching, thank you.
All right, do your nice little slow-mo. We'll slow-mo it. We'll slow-mo it. There you go. The final victor of day number 1. I've been Mustache Dave. That was a nice interview. Stay tuned to tomorrow. I'll be back with some more high-octane action. But until then, we're going to throw it back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Mustache Dave. I love that he reviewed his own interview. He's like, that was a nice interview.
Yeah.
Like, it feels good, man.
In case those of you watching want to review this, it was good.
10 out of 10. Let's take a look at some game highlights here from the final matchup of the day.
Jump right in with Na'Vi. This is where they caught Dignitas. 2 died early against SetToDestroy. The rest died on a tough rotation past Na'Vi, who played very, very well. This was the grenade heard around the world.
No.
Highlight reel material. Everyone dreams of getting a team wipe with the grenade.
Yeah.
Just not their team.
Guys, feels bad.
Yeah.
Feels bad.
It was rough. It was rough.
Okay, well, let's talk about what feels good first. Knights, they didn't have the greatest start, though, to this match. And then all of a sudden, like, pulling out the chicken dinner. What happened?
It was a slow start.
I mean, yeah, I was talking about them before all the games started, and I wanted to see them actually pop up since they didn't play with full potential at PGI. And I think they're slowly coming back up now.
Yeah,
seeing this chicken dinner coming in.
If you ask them, they'll tell you PGI was a disappointment. Sure, they got 5th, but that wasn't good enough for them.
Yeah.
They came into this game. They had a rough start. They stayed with it. They kept their attitudes about them. They are a team that will tell you they are no excuses gaming. Like, they don't sit back and they say, this is why we lost. The circle wasn't our favor. These guys believe that you make your own luck, okay? So that's the nightlife. They moved in. They moved south of Milta. They grabbed a really cool spot along the beachhead when the circle started to close. They locked that in there with a good spread. They got half of the beachhead. That was their position. They took that. Then they pushed into where Penta compound at Crossroads was. They took that because they knew that was another good position. And they kept doing that from Penta Crossroads to Hay Bales, from Hay Bales to where Ibiza was hiding inside of the hill. They just constantly made good, strong pushes. They took calculated risks and ultimately came out with a win. And I'm super hyped to see them finally get that today.
But they also probably calculated that all the teams is going to be on the southwest side by the compound, because on the east side, there was no cover to work with.
Well, when we talk about the circles, we know that 4 avoids water, right? So 3 had that kind of really heavy water presence. And so we saw this when we were watching. All of the teams went north because they knew the shift was going to be north. Knights made a very smart play. They went, okay, it's going to be north, but everyone's going to stack up there. So what if instead we go south? We sort of plan on playing the edge from that point on, but the edge won't be heavily populated because everyone's packing in north, and it worked wonders. They always had one team to fight until the very end, and they could win. I mean, Knights is a team that wins 4v4s. That's what they do. So it was a really good, smart, strategic play on their part.
Perfect. And of course, they end up first on the leaderboard, which we will check out right now. I can't believe it. Every single game that we've seen has been a fresh chicken dinner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've gotten some cash money too, which is nice. But yeah, Knight sitting pretty at the top. Team Dignitas at the bottom, 16th. I mean, they obviously had some bad luck there, but it was SetToDestroyX really that kind of pushed them there, because they left them with only 2 players and they had to play so passively.
Left them with 2 players, pushed them out where they wanted to be, and then it was sort of like, so you're driving a car in first person.
Yeah.
You jump into escape. You don't have, you're driving 2 cars. There's nobody really checking the map and helping you find your rotations. You're more focused on dodging rocks and trees than you are finding a good spot. Essentially, they just drove until they got caught out, and there weren't a lot of options for them. So SetToDestroy put them on tilt, and they never bounced back.
That's just too bad.
Penta in second, good to see. I think they've been struggling this tournament so far.
And now we're seeing the leaderboard here. Tally, after 6 games, Team Dignitas still sitting pretty at the top, which is lovely to see. Yes, of course. Wildcard Gaming, second. Frost, you must feel so good right now.
I mean, I'm just good on predicting stuff, but also, like, Wildcards, they're only 10 points behind. That's 1 kill behind.
Yeah.
So, position placement-wise, Wildcard is doing best right now. We see them with 7 kills less than Dignitas, but still only 10 points behind.
And I'll say, so Wildcard is very flexible, but FaZe, 3rd place, struggled on Miramar. I mean, we saw that. It wasn't their map. And now they're all the way up to 3rd. So, that speaks volumes about FaZe's just ability to work on Erangel. The question is, if they go home tonight, they watch some VODs, they come up with a good strategy for Miramar, and they still play the way that they are at Erangel, then it becomes like one of those, like, how do you stop FaZe again?
Yeah. But as we talked before, like, FaZe has been playing passive the first games today. And then they started playing aggressive, and it's paying off. They're 3rd place right now.
FaZe aggro is best FaZe.
Frost, I know you want to break down something for us. I know you've got some smoke. Another smoke strat.
More smoke?
So you want to break down. Let's talk smoke, baby.
Let's
Get
go
over there.
to it. All right. So, if we pause it right there, boom. So we have now it's all the way over here. But we see that once again we're creating a wall with smoke towards this house here, and that makes it possible for Liquid to actually push this house where they already knocked one guy, and they only need to play against one guy here. So it's 4 versus 1 because the people from that house, from Lions, can't actually see anything.
Right.
Right.
And they do an excellent push on this. And that's what I wanted to show.
It's a clean push, and it's smart. You eliminate one of the houses. And, like, you know that it might be 1, it might be 3,
yeah,
but it's not going to be everybody, right? And then if they get there and no one's in there, then you still have a victory because now you know you're only fighting one house. So Liquid, very smart by removing variables from a fight, is always in control. And I think that's what Liquid does best, is they limit the variables that could hurt them and increase the ones that can help them win.
I'm so sorry, Frost. I was mostly focusing on what you were drawing versus like what you were highlighting, and that's totally on me. My bad. Gentlemen, we will be back here tomorrow, of course. We're going to start with Aaron Go, which is great. Just keep the momentum going, right? So what are we hoping to see day 2 before we sign off?
Honestly, the teams that have stepped up towards the end of the day, like FaZe, really come out swinging. I think by the end of the first half of the day, FaZe will probably be in first position. That said, I need those teams who struggled on Erangel today to take that time, get their heads straight, and come back and at least do mediocre on Miramar.
Yeah, and if they get a good start tomorrow, the teams, it will be a good push towards the Miramar games later as well. And I want to see more from Knights again.
I want to see more. And Lions. I think Lions had a great start, and then what happened? And to me, they need to get back on their horse. They need to figure this out.
Yeah.
And you don't become the king of the jungle by throwing games in the forest. You can't just win in the desert. These guys need to go home and figure out how to at least get top 5s in Erangel on top of their great Miramar play.
GG's to all chicken dinner winners and devourers this evening. We are going to leave you now with some highlights. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be right back here. Same